Alright, we've got our core 4 things, as you guys know, for grammar. And you'll notice these 4 things are actually arranged pretty intentionally. So, nouns and verbs, those are the 2 things that make up a sentence. Right? So we have to have a noun and a verb in order to make a sentence. Adjectives and adverbs, those are the 2 things that give us more information. Right? Now you haven't learned about adverbs yet, but that's okay, we'll get there. But these are the things that give you more information. And if we go across the rows, nouns and adjectives are paired together because adjectives only describe nouns. They only tell us more about nouns. And it turns out, well, you can probably guess at this point, adverbs and verbs are paired up as well. Adverbs tell us more information about verbs, and we'll get into some of the other exciting things that adverbs do later. So, we're going to talk about adjective-noun pairs. That's the name of this worksheet. The idea is an adjective must modify a noun, right? It has to describe a noun, and so we can find the pair of words that work together. So, warm tells us more about the fire. Fire is our noun, warm is our adjective, right? Festive tells us more about the party. It was a festive party versus maybe a boring party. Square garden, okay, it wasn't a circular garden or a rectangular garden, it was a square garden. And messy car. So instead of being a clean car or an organized car, it was a messy car. Now, we've got a little bit of vocabulary to learn. So I have used the word describes, right? Or tells you more about, gives you more information, means the same thing. We also in grammar are going to use this word a lot, modifies, right? Modify. And it just means the same thing. It just means that one thing describes another. So, warm modifies the word fire. Festive modifies party. Square modifies garden. And messy modifies car. Because messy tells us more information about the car. Square tells us more information about that garden, right? So it's just sort of a shorter way of saying it. You could write out, warm tells us more information about the fire, or you can just say warm modifies fire. And that's the idea. We're trying to get you a little bit of a shorthand over here. So, we're going to use that word modifies. You're going to use that word modifies. Just make sure that you can communicate with that lingo, essentially. And one last thing. Just in case you were planning on internalizing some kind of a ridiculous rule that adjectives always have to be the word directly in front of a noun, don't worry, we're already planning on combating that rule. Most rules don't hold up in English because English is just this ridiculous monstrosity full of so many exceptions to every rule you could try to create. So, usually it's good to have these core ideas. Nouns, verbs, adjectives, adverbs, and beyond that, we just sort of go with the flow. Alright? Let's get started.